Daniel here. Now, in heaven, Noah's been alive in every generation so far. Possibly not generation A for Adam. He came a lot later, but he's on generation B or C or something like that. But since then, he's always been alive. So in heavenly equivalence, he's lived through every generation since he came around. The Rainbow Covenant has been functioning in every generation. The Rainbow Covenant is multi-generational. People who were born centuries ago on Earth, but live in heaven now, if they're still alive in heaven, they've lived through all the generations since they've been alive. They're part of every generation. Their living lifespan is part of those generations in heavenly equivalents. Madonna Ciccone, the pop singer Madonna, was born back in probably the 60s, I think it was. She's been through the baby boomer generation, Generation X, the millennials, and Generation Zs, and the new ones. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Lava Life, double A's. Double A, AAR is a Scrabble word, a two-letter Scrabble word, and it's a Scottish word for lava or magma or something like that. And I jokingly say they're the Lava Life generation because they're caught up in so much sexual misdeeds that they're ending up in hellfire. It's a joke. But Madonna's been alive and served through a number of generations. She's a multi-generational person. People of her era are multi-generational people. I've been alive since 1972. I've lived and had my lifespan in many generations. I'm part of a living experience of many generations. I was born in Generation X, but my living experiences are in many generations. My cultural contributions are in all generations since Generation X so far. I've done cultural contributions in each generation. When I grew up in the 1980s as a Generation Xer, we received Generation X culture. Bon Jovi, Poison, Def Leppard, Madonna, Dire Straits, Blondie, things like that. AC/DC, things like that. Bros, even. I wasn't a big Bros fan, but George Michael, Wham, all sorts of things were in vogue in the 80s. Cameo with Word Up was in vogue, and also Michael Jackson, of course, and Prince. Those things which were in vogue in the 1980s. They were Generation X's people, culture. That was our cultural product. That was our stuff. They were part of Generation X. They are part of Generation X. I'm living in 2023. This is the Gen Z new generation, whatever it is. I'm not exactly sure what the current generation is. But I'm alive and I'm making cultural contributions. I'm part of that generation too. I was born in Generation X, but my lifespan goes over many generations. Now, when you study a thing currently in history from previous generations back in the Dark Ages or something, that cultural product is active. It's actively being looked at. When you when you read a book from the Dark Ages, that product is active in this generation. It has an activity. There's an activity statement for that product worldwide each day, potentially, of what happened for that product in this current living generation. Christianity functions every Sunday quite strongly. The New Testament has a living focus every Sunday. The works of Shakespeare are in vogue all the time. He's been multi-generational for a long time. The truth about generations, that's how it really is 19.